It's time for the LockMarie talk show with you already know who she with. With your girl, yeah. Show me my love, show me some love, show me my love. It's your girl, y'all. Coach LockMarie, how are you? Y'all, it is 6:35, 6:36 in the morning. Angel number 636. We're gonna look that up. How are you guys today? You guys, let me tell you, this morning I woke up and when I say every time I look at the clock, it's either at 444, 555, 626, 636. The angels are speaking. I always know when there's a shift about to happen in my life, some things is about to start changing, and I'm getting excited. So that's a word for somebody. When things start changing in your life, when change start happening, don't always feel negative about it. Don't always look at change as bad. Look at change as good. That means something new is about to happen. That means something new is about to develop. It's how you focus on it that determines the outcome of what's about to happen. If you say it's going to be a bad thing, then guess what? It's going to be a bad thing. But if you get excited and you be like, you know what? This is about to work out for my good. This is something good is coming out of this. Guess what? It's about to work for your good, and something good is coming up out of that. I promise you. Ooh, this tea is just right this morning, y'all. Yes. I am excited. I'm excited. Okay. So I woke up this morning, y'all, with a thought. You know how I do. So today we're going to talk about self-love. Ladies. We're going to get into this self-love, all right? Because that's what I've been really seeking on and developing myself in, really, within the past 5 years, I'll say. I have noted, let me see, 18, 19, 21. Yeah, 2018 is when it kind of really started stirring back up in me. Sometimes in life, ladies, we lose ourselves. We lose ourselves in the midst of everybody else. But guess what? We have the control. We can take back the power that God gave us as divine goddesses, as the woman that He created. You are created by the divine God. You are His daughter. You are genuinely special. You deserve the best of everything in life. And your best may not be my best. My best may not be your best. See, that's the problem, and that's where what I want to talk about with self-love. Competition is self-love's opposite. Let me write that other word down. Hold on. Because I wrote some notes. Those two words are the opposite of self-love. Okay, and we're going to get into it. But you have to realize what's best and what's success and what's prosperity and abundance for you does not, and it should not look like what is prosperity, success, and abundance for me. Everybody should be living their own life. We were not created to be copycats, to be carbon copies, to be cookie cutters of everybody else. Stay in your lane. God has a path a lane, a journey, an adventure, a world created specifically for you. And when we realize that and we settle in that, if you're going to settle in life in something, settle in your individuality. Settle in what feels good for you. Settle in, you know what? I love myself. But you know what? I love myself enough to know I don't want a Mercedes. I don't want a BMW. I want a Honda Accord. That's what I want. That is my dream car, and that's what I want, and that's what I'm going to get. And if that's your dream car, go get that Honda Accord, girl. If you want a 1-bedroom apartment with, I don't know, what? If you want a 1-bedroom apartment with a sofa couch, you don't even want a regular bed. You want a sofa couch bed. Or you want a daytime bed. One of those that's just a couch in the daytime and it's a bed at night. Who said you can't have it? Because you see other people on Instagram, you see other people, your mama, your auntie, your best friend. Girl, you ain't got no real bed. Girl, you better get you a real bed. Tell them to shut the... I'm not gonna cuss. Shut up. You do what's right for you. I have to realize that, and I'm realizing that more and more. The more I come into who I am again, because I knew who I was. We all started out knowing who we were and what we wanted and loving ourselves. But we allowed other people to change us. We allowed other people who didn't know who they were, other people who wasn't secure in who they were. And I say that because they had lost it, because the adults in their life, it's a ripple effect. That's the generational curse that keeps going and going and going. Everyone was born with the God-given characteristics, qualities, everything you are supposed to be as your individual self, He placed in you. The full package of who you are. And because your mama, your daddy, or whoever raised you, your Gigi, your pawpaw, your big mama, your nana, your guardian, a foster family, a group home, because of the adults in our lives who were all over the place, because like I said, it kept going. Before them, they was all over the place. Before them, they was all over. Somewhere along the line, somebody lost it. And they kept losing it and giving it to the next person to lose and giving it. And it just kept going and going and going and going. And when you see people who truly love themselves, when you see generations of people or races of people who are doing things different than you do it, then you have to justify, because you're not going to give them credit. So you got to justify why your situation is effed up, messed up, or confused. You got to justify why you got to live this life, but they live in that life, instead of commending and going to them and asking them, how did you do it? What did you do? Like, help me, or give me insight, or how does it feel? Or, instead of asking them questions to enhance yourself, you will sit and judge, condemn, convict, throw stone, throw shade, throw salt. We throw it all. The kitchen sink at them and their family, to try to make to minuscule and try to limit and I'm trying to find the right word. Make little of what they're doing and what they have, or make wrong condemn, convict, make it sin, make it out of God's will, because you're not living that life. And I'm going to be honest, today or tomorrow, if somebody gave you the exact same life, first thing you say, hallelujah, look at God. Praise the Lord, God did it. Oh, so God did it for you, but he didn't do it for them because it's not you and come on now. We got to really get past all this. Self-love. I'm telling you, that is the core. Love. Love. God is love. He created everything in love. He created you in love. You have detached yourself from love. Now you're out there trying to find your way back to love the wrong way. Through religion, through tradition, through beliefs. When all you got to do is surrender and just love. And you will find your way right back. With all the life experience that you have had along the way. Which will make it even more better to love. Stop fighting it. Just love. If you want, let's go back to that. So if you want to wear your hair in an afro and everybody else around you is wearing it pressed, wear your afro. Love yourself. You ain't got to be like everybody else. For years, I did not care. It was one point in time I didn't care what people thought. I didn't. But because the kids that I was around, they're evidently the parents, I don't know how they got messed up at a young age. They was into all kind of different, everything had to be particular and this and that. And I was like, huh? Like, I don't care about that. But it made me feel bad because I was different. I like unique stuff. I like different things. I like to match. I like to, I had my own flair. I had my own flavor. And then, of course, because my mom, she couldn't afford certain things, or she said she couldn't, or, she just didn't have the belief to know she couldn't. So that's where she was. And so because that was a life she lived, I was connected to her. I didn't have any authority or really no control. So I had to make do with where I was as a child. Me and my brother both. And so we had to become who we were at that time because of who we were under. Right? And so that when you feel that, it's because it's not who you truly are. We have to learn. You have the power. You are an adult. If you are 18 or older and you're listening to this, you are an adult. If you're still living in your parents' household, then you probably still have rules. And some of us, like me, you're in your 30s and you're living in a parent or a grandparent household. Whether you're grown or not, you still had rules. And that is what prolongs that detachment from who you truly are, who you truly were created to be, because you still got folks in your ear. I look back now and I say it's the best thing to let your kids leave home early or do whatever they need to do. If they can't maintain their individuality with you, let them go so that they can maintain their individuality without you. Because you creating a version of them that you think is safe, you think is best, is only ruining their lives. That's why you, in adults' eyes, you think you got so much rebellion, as they want to call it. It's not rebellion. They're just trying to find who they are, because you done messed them up so much with who you want them to be, because you still trying to compete and compare with other folks' kids and who they kids have become. You're trying to make sure your kid is better than the next person's kid. When you talk about kids, you want to have a story to tell too, that's, makes you in their eyes, not in your eyes, in their eyes, makes you look good, because your kid is, oh, he's at Yale, oh, he's at Stanford. That's one thing I will give my mama, because I would have been at UCLA, USC, one of them big, because my grades and counselors was on my mama's head trying to get me to go. And she said no, she's going to a 2-year community college. I said, a 2-year what? Now in that sense, I'm like, okay, that was her wanting me to do that, but I believe it would have been my my purpose to, because I know I would have excelled, you know what I'm saying, did things. But like you said, when you got adults who want things to go the way they wanted it to go, doing the way they wanted it to do, then it just changes the entire perspective of the child's life. Everything happens for a reason, and everything is going to work for your good. No matter what it is, how it happens, the woulda, coulda, shouldas, don't worry about that. Because I can say, because I had the right attitude coming up, and I was the one that, you know what, I'm here, I'm gonna enjoy being here. That's one thing I've always done. And that's why, I'm going to tell you why. That's why when I leave a certain place, everybody around is shocked. They didn't see it coming. For one, it wasn't none of your business to see it coming. But two, it wasn't none of your business to see it coming. 3, you know what 3 is? No, I'm just playing. But because I understand I'm not going to be miserable. If I'm going to be someplace, I'm going to enjoy being there. So I'm going to make the best of where I am. A lot of people are places, but you can tell they're miserable. You know how? Let me sip some tea real quick. Because it shows in their appearance. It shows in their health. It shows in their joy. It shows in their happiness. That's how you know. Because life is excitement. Life is joy. Life is peace. Life is happiness. Life, more abundant life. I'm not saying you got to be jumping off the walls every day, but life, life. It's like what they say. There's a scripture. It says it's abundant. It's like a well running over, bubbling over. You can't contain it. You have to share it with other people. It's like it's magnetic. Other people want to be around you. Other people want to talk to you. Other people, they feel it. They see it. Because it's life. It's a spark. It's an excitement. And so I was like, like I said, I done been in some tight spots. Like living in a room with my mama. A grown woman in a room with my mama in the same bed. And I'm going to have to find them pictures and I'm going to post them one day. But having all of my stuff in like little corners and little just contained spots, right? And I'm like, in my mind, I'm looking at all this extra space, right? She got she just got everything everywhere. She got hers, but she got me content. And I'm like, we could share that large space right there. Why am I over here in a corner and you? But I could not let that affect me. I had to find peace where I was, and I did, and I made do, and my mind, and that's why now, to this day, I am such an organized person. I can structure and organize something and have it so clean and look, and they will tell you, every man I done ever had been with in a marriage, because I didn't do this with no dating. You do your own house if I'm just dating. But any man I done lived with, that's what I'll say, because I only lived with husbands. Any man I done ever lived with, I have hooked him up. I know they miss me. I will color coordinate the sock drawers, the underwear drawers, the closets. All the white shirts will be long sleeve whites, short sleeve white, striped collared, blue polos, black polos, white t-shirts, black t-shirts, red t-shirt. Everything is in order. There's shoes, tennis shoes over here, Stacy Adams here, dress sandals here, flip-flops. Everything is look, my motto, I trained my son, and he already know. It was a song we used to sing when I wanted him to clean his room, and it was my soprano song. You had to hit it high too, in your falsetto, and he used to do it with me. Everything in its proper place. Anytime I went around the house singing that, he already knew it was time to clean up. Everything in its proper place. Like, everything has its place, and that's where it needs to be. You have to look. I should have bought that thing. I'm gonna go back and buy it. It was a sign yesterday I saw in the store. It said, "I'm not messy. I'm just an organized." What is it? I am an organized creativity or something like that. But in other words, if you're gonna it have some structure to your mess. If you're gonna be messy, like, make it look good. Everything, pictures here, this, like, I've always done that. It's just, I've always had and that's just who I am. I'm an organized person. Even in a disorganized environment, I will structure my surroundings to be organized. If I can't do it physically, mentally, I have that place running like a well-oiled machine. And that's why I could go to a certain career for 24 years and keep my sanity. Some environments I went in daily, you go in, you think you're going to go one place, and they call you to go to another, and you be like, oh no, I don't want to go in that courtroom. Because you already know, if the bench officer didn't have their stuff together, none of the attorneys going to have their stuff together, and the whole place was going to be out of sight. So I had to get my mind in order so I could go in there and stay focused and stay consistent with my train of thought, because then my energy could overpower all the other off energies in the room, and I could stay at peace throughout that day. And you had to do that. And so that's the way, and that's why, and look, that's how you know your life has went as planned. When God has placed in you the ability to do certain things, no matter where you are, you can sustain you, because that's who you are. And when things come against it, remain faithful and true to yourself. That is self-love. Do not allow people to change you. Do not allow people to make you. That was one thing I did have to fight with, and I didn't do, and I saw myself changing. I allowed how people were to make me hard, coarse, and And that's not me. I was not being true to who I am. I'm a lover. I'm a kind. I'm gentle. People, in quote unquote, taking advantage of you. And I've heard, don't let nobody get over on you. Don't let nobody take it. So I gripped up. I became coarse. I became hard because I didn't understand, because I was being mentored and taught by folks who didn't understand how can't nobody take advantage of you unless you say they can take advantage of you. Can't nobody get over on you unless you say they getting over on you. From my first boyfriend, I had a first boyfriend. And I learned then. And that's where I went and started until I started letting other folks get in my head again. But from my first boyfriend, he cheated on me, y'all. I didn't even know it. But you know how I found out? He told me. How many men have told their women that they cheated on them? But you know why he told me? Because in my mind, the thoughts that I was thinking were pure and delicate thoughts. They were, even though I had a belief about, men and sex because of the belief I was given. So yes, that was active in me. That's why I attracted that. I understand how it works. So when it happened, I wasn't shocked, but I wasn't mad. And I told him, I said, well, look, and we explained, we went through we talked, and he laughed. To this day, I ain't seen him in years, though. I don't even know where he at now. But years after we had broke up, because I told him, I said, you know what, I'm going to set you free. That's what I said. I said, I'm going to set you free. And, just do what you need to do. Him and the girl weren't even dating or nothing. It was a situation that had happened with his father and some stuff, his parents. Which I won't go into that, because just in case people know who my first boyfriend is, none of your business what happened. I won't put his business out there. But it kind of shook him as a child. And so he, needed some comforting or whatever. And so he felt bad because he said he didn't even like the girl, kind of thing. But like I said, that's neither here nor there with me. I'm like, look, you just do you, because I wasn't sexually active. I wasn't about to be sexually active at the time. So I just set him free so he could just, figure himself out. And I told him, we cool. I ain't tripping. And then I ended up dating one of his best friends. And no, it wasn't out of revenge. It was like 3 years later. I hadn't seen his friend in years. And secretly, though, I always thought his friend was cute, but his friend was older. And I didn't know that was his friend until after I started dating him. So it wasn't like I got with his friend. No, get it right. And his friend pursued me. And that was the thing too. So I guess maybe while his friend saw me with him, his friend was secretly liking me or something. I don't know. But so yeah, those were my first two boyfriends. They was and like I said, y'all, I have had some very, very good adventures in my life, but it's because I love myself. Self-love, ladies. If you love yourself, you're going to exert that out into the atmosphere, and that is what you're going to attract back. Now, because I'm thinking now, y'all got my mind going now. So that's my first boyfriend. My second boyfriend was him, and I stayed with him, my second boyfriend, about 2.5 years. That was the longest relationship. Well, it was only my second, but that was with all the guys, because I quote unquote talked to a lot of guys. I liked a lot of guys, but I was never dating them. I had a lot of guys friends from high school age until 23, 24. I think that's when me and my first boyfriend got together. And even with that, I attracted him. It's never been a thing where I've never had to pursue a man. You don't have to, ladies. They will see you and they will come to you. When you got that goddess energy, what God has placed in you as a woman, it will attract them to you. You don't have to do nothing. He found me. We were sitting in a church. I was sitting in church. I never forget. It was like yesterday. I was in one of my favorite white dresses. Had just got my hair done. It was wrapped down. And he came, and I saw a guy walking, but I didn't think he was coming to me. I just saw a guy walking, and he came way from on the other side of the church, all the way around, and came and sat right behind me. And so when he sat behind me, I still just thought, oh, he just came to sit behind me, because I was sitting in a spot by myself. It was me and nobody else. Don't ask me why I did it. I just sat in the middle of the church, and there was no one else sitting in that area. So I was sitting by myself, and I guess he saw me, and he walked all the way around the church, came and sat behind me, and he bent over the bench. And when I looked twice, I was like, and I kind of laughed because he scared me. He's like, hi. I said, hey. And so we started talking. He asked me what my name was, and I asked him what his name was, and he told me his name. He told me his full name, and I cracked up because he had a first name, a middle name, and a last name, and it sounded like a president name. And I used to always tease him. I'm like, "You gonna be a president?" And so from that day on, we went on, and then I think maybe like the first week or so, or. Oh, and you know what? Now that I think about it, y'all, hold up. So he got my number that night. He went. I don't think he sat with me. I think he went and sat back wherever. He started calling me, and he mysteriously would ask questions, right? You know how you getting to know somebody, so they asking where you work or what you do and stuff like that. So I had already started working with the court. So I was working in the archives down. We called it the dungeon. And so I was working down there, and he had asked me what department, like he was like if I was to, if somebody was to come and see you or be at your job, like the way he worded it in a way where I didn't know what he was asking. He was good, y'all. I'm telling you, ladies, you ain't got to do nothing. They good. When they want to surprise you, they'll do it, right? So, my alarm. I'm supposed to be getting up now. So, he somehow figured out where I worked. And when I tell you, one day I was in the back working, where I was working, and they called me up in the front on the intercom, and I was like, what? I was like, what they want? So I walked up, and I saw this other guy. Matter of fact, which y'all gonna laugh, but I saw this guy standing there with a big thing of roses. And in my mind, I'm like, I know them ain't for me, because I wasn't thinking about, I had just met this guy, and I wasn't thinking about him at that time. I'm at work. So I'm sitting there. No, I walk over, and I'm looking, and so my boss tells me, that guy's for you. And I'm like, what? So I walk over to him, and he's like, Lock? And I was like, yeah. And he hands me the vase, and I'm like, he said, a beautiful bouquet of roses for a beautiful woman. And I'm like, I'm literally, you guys, like deer in headlights. I'm like, oh my God. I'm like, what the? So I put them down, and I opened the card, and I realized that they're from the guy I had just met. And this is before, of course, we became girlfriend boyfriend, because we had just met. I was like, oh my God. So I'm like tripping, And so then I'm looking and I can see the guy, he's still kind of peeking, kind of looking at my expression. And so I put the flowers down and I run out the hall. I'm like, excuse me. And I look at him and I'm like, I said, do you work for the flower company or do you know him? And so he laughs and he's like, no, I'm his friend. I'm a good friend of his. Now, mind you, you guys, remember the guy I told you I dated, his friend 2 years later? That was the guy who delivered me the flowers. I did not know him. That's how I met him. And we really didn't even meet, but that's how I knew that that was his friend. So at other events we would go to during the different church services and stuff, then I started seeing his friend. He was an older friend of theirs. It was like three of them. They all hung together, and but he was the oldest out of them all. So I just respected him as, quote unquote, the older friend kind of thing. Never thought during the time when I was with the guy I was with that I would end up dating him, later. And then I didn't realize then I was older than the guy I was with, and I was right around the same age as the one I thought that was older. Story of my life, y'all. I've always looked young, so young guys have always approached me. So if y'all see me at 75 with a 40-year-old, just know, story of my life. I think I was created for a younger man. I'm gonna just keep it real. That's just what I think. It's been my entire life. I have always attracted younger men. Every guy I dated, let me think back, except for him. Yeah, all the other ones I dated were younger than me. Because after the 2-year relationship with him, I went a couple of years and then I met a guy. And like I said, every guy I've ever dated to this day, if they see me or if I was to send them an inbox in social media, they would have no issue saying what's up or helping me with whatever I need help with. But see, the thing is, it's because of my pureness of my heart. And they knew this. And we did not separate any type of ill way. It's always been a mutual thing, or something where it was understanding why we had to separate. And we just went our separate ways. And I have had a great life. When I look at it, excuse me, until, like I said, I became involved in other people's energies, not remaining true to my own energy of love and peace. My first marriage, that could have been a lot better. Now that I look back, not the marriage, but the breakup or the separation could have been better had I remained true to myself, but I did not understand at the time. That was at a different dynamics because, I had a son and, I was looking at other folks, listening to other folks, seeing other things I saw on TV and court. And, when you get wrapped up in other people's energy, that's why we're talking, ladies, about self-love. When you're in self-love, you don't elect nothing that you see on television, nothing that happened in your mama's life, nothing that happened in your auntie's life, nothing that happened in your cousin's relationship, nothing that happened in your best friend's relationship, nothing that happened in the girl next door relationship. You don't let none of that affect your relationship and your views on relationship. I was sitting in a court day in, day out, listening and hearing people's drama, and I ended up living a drama because I did not know how to separate my emotions, my energy from what I heard and what I saw, and that stuff was I'm telling you, we are living in a spiritual, energetic world, and we have to, you must contain your energy and control who you are at all costs in order to remain free and love yourself and stay true to who God created you to be. I just wanted to give y'all a little insight on my past. So I know I went around the corner, but it was cute because I just thought about those things. I was like, oh my goodness, like I used to go on dates, y'all. And mind you, these dudes, they didn't live in my city. Now, no, let me tell you, I was not sexually active with these dudes, and these dudes would travel. They lived at least 45 minutes to an hour away from me, and they would travel to me. You know what? I got some momentum I still need to clean up. Because I started some bad habits back after that. But even though at one point I had started traveling to go see someone else, and it was only because I was living with my grandparents and I wanted my own. At that point, I wanted to branch out of that sitting on the porch kind of thing, dating. I'm like, you know what? I am too old for this. I do not need you sitting there watching me. This ain't the old days. This ain't what's that called? Little House on the Prairie. So I would go to this is a matter of fact, this was my son's father. I would go to his place because he had his own spot off the beach. And so yes, I don't date no dummies. He but he would give me gas money. I would always, at least every other day or however long I went, I was getting handed a $50 bill or more to put in my gas tank. So don't get it twisted. Like I said, I attract good stuff. It's just being able to sustain. And now, because I understand life, I understand why situations went the way they went. Because I didn't understand how life worked. I allowed other people and what I saw and what I heard. Had I been able to be me completely, like I said, I would still be probably where I was. But I had to be who I am now. My life had to go the way it went. So, like I said, whether I stayed, whether I didn't stay, it all worked for good. Because I have met some amazing people. I've lived some exciting, you know what I'm saying? So everything happens for a reason. I don't resent anything. I wouldn't have anything on these podcasts to talk to you about. You would be saying, she boring. Or you'd be saying, she don't know. She been with the same man for 50 years. How she know? But see, I can tell you because I've been there, done that. Been there, done that. Been there, seen that. Been there, experienced that. And it's a whole lot that you just don't know that I didn't experience But if you ask me, I probably got an experience to tell you about it. And that's the difference between me as an older woman and the older generation women. The young girls didn't go to them because they felt they couldn't. Because they saw all the mothers and the church mothers and the evangelists and the missionaries in the church as holier than thou. They didn't realize those women had lived the same type of life I had lived, but nobody knew it because they sitting up there in that white like they never been touched. My grandmother, and that's why I love her. I would go home and talk to her. I'd be like, Granny, has mother such and such ever? She'd be like, that woman was married 3 times. I said, what? She said, yeah, and all 3 of them still living. See, Granny used to tell me, that's why I see things differently. Folks don't understand why I say, I got some insight on a whole lot of folk who don't know I got insight on them. My grandparents was in that thing a long time. My granny knew ins and outs on a whole lot of folks' lives and relationships and situations. So that's why I never could look at you like you wanted me to look at you or see what you wanted me to see and vibe with it like it was truth. Because I knew you was covering up some stuff. And it was like, why? Just be real and honest. People will respect you so much more, right? Because because I was around that, I became that type of person. Oh, I gotta cover this up. Oh, I can't say this. Oh, I can't do that. Oh, I can't act this way. Oh, if I and you're not being true to who you are. You're not being real. It's some other stuff that I'm gonna start opening up more and because I'm free now. It's like, man, who gives a rat's tail? You look, can't no once again, can't nobody judge or say nothing. It's not your place to. And like they said, when he was writing in the sand, when they was about to stone the lady that they caught in adultery, he who without sin cast the first stone. While you throwing stuff over there, worry about your own life. Worry about what you doing and what you ain't did and what you need to do. Y'all, my nails is growing. I'm so proud of myself. See, it's like I said, when you don't focus on things and you just let it happen, it happens. For about 3 months, I was just, my nails ain't growing, and they didn't grow. But I said, you know what? I want my nails to grow. And I forgot about it. They are long. I didn't even realize they was this long. But I got what I said, and I got what I focused on. I was focused on not having nails, and I didn't have them. What you focus on, ladies, is what you get. If you focus on the fact that you still single, you still ain't never had no man, you ain't got no kids, you will never have a man, you will never have any kids. Women who want to have babies, if you stay focused on the fact that you can't have a baby, you will never have a baby. If you want to have a baby, and this is something for a woman who's been trying for 10, 15, 20 years, why do you think once a woman adopts a baby, she then gets pregnant? Have been trying for 30 years, her and her husband, they decide to adopt, and then she get pregnant within a week or a month because she was no longer focused on not having a baby. I'm telling you, this stuff is real. If you right now have been trying to have a child and you can't, forget about it. Stop trying. You're putting too much emphasis on it. Just live your life. Just enjoy sex with your man. Just enjoy real romance. Don't worry. Don't go get no more fertilities, no more shots, no more pills. Stop all that. And just enjoy life. And I promise you, well, depending on the momentum you got going, I don't know, it may take you a while. But if you continue to gradually and to get excited about just being who you are, and if you, start purchasing baby stuff as if you've already gotten pregnant. Set up your crib, set up your nursery. Yeah, your friends gonna come over and say they gonna think you done lost it. And they may convert you, but you within, if you feel it, if you start desiring it, and let me read this to you. I saw it someplace and I wrote it down. It says, be excited about now. So you don't have a child, okay? Get excited about that. I ain't got no kids. I'm able to come and go as I please. I'm able to be free. I ain't got to worry about nothing. Be excited about now. Be excited about the fact that you want to have a baby and you are going to have a baby. Say, I am going to have a baby. Want it generally, though. Don't want it so bad that you can taste it. That's what keeps you from it, because you're too focused. Want it generally and just let the desire for it grow. We overdo things. We get so impulsive and so women. That's why you lose men. That's why we lose relationships. We get so overly, that the energy you had when you met him, it switches and it becomes a different energy, because now you're trying to hold on to him. You don't have to. If he's yours, he's not going anywhere. You have to remind yourself that. And if he goes, let him go because he wasn't yours or he was just to be yours for that set of time. But the more you release a person, the more they stay. The more you cling, you don't have to cling to nothing that's yours. It's yours. Do you have to tie your dog up for him to stay home? I'm just saying. If you unleash your dog right now, that dog will be right there on that porch. Or he'll be right there in that yard. Or if you do get out, he'll come right back. The only reason that a dog don't come back or an animal don't come back is when you are overly aggressive with it. And of course they're going to want to, because you're retracting it. This is a law of attraction. It's not the law of assertion. You don't have to assert your authority and power over anything or anyone. Men, stop trying to rule over your house like that. Just chill out and relax. Self-love. If you love yourself, you're going to love others. And you're going to treat others with respect. You're going to give others the freedom to just relax. And to be happy. And to enjoy life. You can let people know you're thinking about them. You can send them a text. You can send them a, voice message. You can check on them. But you don't have, why you ain't call me? Why you ain't, why I ain't seen you? And see, we need to talk. I'm going to need ladies to take that out their vocabulary. That's why I'm telling you, I don't have no problems. Ladies, if you want to keep a man, I could tell you how to keep him. I'm just saying. And if you want to get rid of one, I could tell you how to do that too. But I won't. No, I'm not gonna do that. No, just live good. Use your powers for good. Life is good. God is good. And God set things up for us so that we can have good lives, so that we can live abundantly and prosper. And I know why He placed me in the life He placed me in with the foundation He gave me, because He wants me to stay pure with all the knowledge, the wisdom, and the insight that He has allowed me to obtain in life. I'm going to always be a good superhero. Hey. All right, I'm going to stop this one here, but we're going to do a second part to the self-love. All right. Ooh. Yes, I feel this, y'all. I'm getting my groove on. Wish y'all could see me. Oh, no, I don't. I ain't got nothing on. You can't see this. This is Sweet Talk by Tyra Chanty. Okay, let's go down the line. We have heard Oh What a Life, Spring Gang featuring Shy 5, Someone to Love, Pebble Song by Rebel Day, The Mirror by Mind Me featuring Emmy, Club 2000 by Aldous Young, The Morning Light by LM Styles, The Fix by Aldous Young, Scream a Name by Tanti, Stay in the Moment, Tyra Chanty, Self-Made Woman, Catherine Appleton, Bedroom, Loving Caliber, Little Sunday Barbecue, Jesse Lawrence, Sweet Talk, Instrumental, Tyra Chanty, and Waterfalls, ESO Indies, King Sis. That was our playlist today. I think that's where I started. Sweet talk. Give me some sweet talk. All right, you guys. This has been your girl, Coach LockMarie. Remember, self-love starts with you. You can attract and have anything you want. He said he will give you the desires of your heart. What you desire, not what his will is, not what you think you should have, not what your mama say you should have, not, well, if it's possible and maybe he will give you the desires of your heart. Why? Because he gave you the desire to begin with. Your desire is a pure desire. When you let other things and other people influence it, that's when it becomes tainted and messed up. But your desire is pure. And you can have what you desire. But you gotta believe in order to receive. Alright, I love you guys. This is In Love With Myself by Catnip featuring Milva. And I will see you on the next episode. Part 2, coming, self-love. And of course, I'm going to give y'all some more of my tea too. And let y'all know some more of my little stories I think of.
But it's not who